Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from ICM, and it is made in 1/35 scale. Here we get quite an interesting combo set because you get this truck together with the figurines. As you can see, it's written as the confessions before the fight, and 1/35 scale it might be a good diorama material. And what I have here on the table, that's the final shape of this release, and it means you will be getting exactly the same stuff as what you will be seeing in this video review. So in my opinion, it might be a good choice for modelers who would like to depict something different from what we are used to see in this scale. So that's why I decided to take a closer look here. And you can notice that the kit number is 35585. The box size is rather standard for this type of release from ICM. Here is comparison with my hand. We have quite nice box art here. Obviously the aircraft are not included, they will be in the separate kit. And here you can also see some information about this kit. So it's written we have the 286 parts for the truck and also 33 parts for assembly of 5 figurines. So both sets were reviewed as the separate releases. You can find them easily on my YouTube channel. But today we are checking whole combo, which might be interesting for modelers who don't want to hunt for the separate kits. They just want to get everything in one box. And I have to say that even the solo releases, they look nice. So I think it's worth checking how everything combines together. And in the meantime, I can also remind you that there are some other interesting novelties from ICM coming this month. So definitely check them out. They will be reviewed on the same YouTube channel which you are checking right now. And of course, you can support me with a small donation. It's easy to do because there are a big red button on the website, and there is also the thanks button on the YouTube. So here is what we have inside. As you can see, all frames are packed into one plastic bag. It's quite a simple packaging, but usually ICM kits arrive to me intact even after some rough shipment. And this is a resealable plastic bag, so it's quite quick and easy to open. You can hear that I'm already tearing it apart. So just give me a second. I will try to do it quickly. And I can see that on the top we have the truck parts. So for example, we have these 2 sprues with the road wheels and some parts for the rear section. So I will show them in a second. Here is the one of the sprues because they carry the same set of parts. That's why we are checking only one, and I will just zoom in. And you can see that we get the plastic wheels. In my opinion, this is a really great advantage for the kit in 1/35 scale because such parts are easier to paint, easier to weather, and they look a bit more convincing on the finished model. So that's why I'm always happy to see such bonus. But we also get some options for the rear section as well, and obviously they will not be used because, as you remember, today's version has the box in the rear section. But still, it might be handy for some spare parts collections where you can use them in the future builds. As for the figurines, they are placed on one plastic sprue. So overall parts division and design is typical for this scale, so you can expect the one-piece torso. There are no guiding elements, and it means that you have to be careful while combining all of this stuff together. As you can see, even the torso has only the neck serving as the guiding element, and we have the tab in the middle, which is also kind of smart. But for the, let's say, simple non-priest figurines of the soldiers, they are without any guiding elements. But the sculpting quality looks great, so if I zoom in and take a closer look at the torso and head and also the legs features, as you can see, they are looking quite nice for this scale. Let's not forget that this is the original plastic kit. I just shown the comparison with the fingertips, so out of plastic, out of the box, it's quite a good thing to get such details without any additional expenditure, so you don't have to resort for the resin figurines, obviously. Next, we continue with more parts for the rear section. This is the tarpaulin, and again, I'm not sure if it will be used in this version because we have the box structure, so I wonder why it is included here. Maybe because we need some of the rear chassis parts, but that's pretty much all you will use here. And again, the tarpaulin will go into your spare parts box and can be used later. Next, we continue with the sprue B, and here we have a slightly bigger sized sprue. So here we have the parts for the rear section. We also have the steering wheel, the leaf spring, shock absorbers. I'm just looking how the main chassis bars are molded. You can find them on both ends. And of course, these wooden parts, they do not have any wooden texture on them. So in case you would like to have such feature, you will have to replicate it by yourself. But I don't think it's such a difficult thing to do. Next, we have the parts which are let's say specific for today's version. So this is the sprue F1, and here you can see exactly these panels for the rear box, and we have also the cutouts for the clear sections. If I flip it over, we also have some external features pre-molded here, and as far as I remember, they will be enhanced also with the decals, but we will see it further in the video review. In the worst case, you can pick it up with the dry brushing. I don't think it will be such a difficult task to do, but the final look will definitely benefit from such addition, so do not be lazy and try to do it in case you would like to have a nice look on your model. Next, another sprue for this version of the truck. As you can see here, we have the roof panel, and if I flip it over, here we have also external panels and the separate door. The separate door is actually quite a useful thing because it can help you to expose what is inside, and maybe also useful for some diorama ideas in case you have some. Next, we continue with a big plastic sprue which is marked as A, and I will show it in a second. So here, as you can guess, we get the front cap parts because they were not present on the previous sprues, and overall parts division is somewhat expected. So we have the separate panels, we have the separate doors, separate bonnet, we even have the engine included here, and quite nice suspension parts as well, or wheel axles. So all of this stuff will be visible or can be visible on the finished model, so definitely think through what you would like to expose on your truck, because I think in 1/35 scale these are very handy features, and it's quite nice of ICM to give them in the standard package. Next, we also have some equipment or the items to be placed inside the truck. So in case you wondered what will be exposed with the open door, here are some of those items. And I think it's again quite a good thing to get in the box, so you don't have to search for some additional items. You get it in the standard package. And one last sprue is the frame D. Here we get the more of the parts for the engine compartment of the truck. I think engine deserves to be exposed somehow because it's a really good thing to get in 1/35 scale. And I think if you add a bit of wiring and some other features, it will be actually a good finish for the model of this truck. But that's not all. We also get the clear parts which are packed into the separate plastic bag. So here I will zoom in and you can see the glasses for the front cap. Overall design is somewhat typical for such thing, and I wonder if the masks are included, because sometimes masking templates are included in the ICM kits, sometimes they are not, so we'll have to check the assembly manual. And here you can see also the windows for the rear section. As you can see, they are molded together with the framing, so again the same question about the masking, because otherwise you'll have to cut the masking rectangles by yourself. And next we have also the decal sheet. So this one is not that big. Here you can see all of the symbols which are placed on it, but printing quality looks fine to me, so I don't have anything to complain about here. And as for the assembly manual, it is interesting that the assembly manual is actually printed specially for this edition. Usually ICM just combines several assembly manuals together, but as you can see here, we get the one which is for this particular release. We have the history note and the color specifications on the first page. Next, we have the parts map. Obviously, the red color means that these parts will not be used. And here we continue with the assembly process. So we start with the main chassis. As you can see, a lot of bars to be connected together, and it might be a good idea to check the overall alignment. As far as I remember, the design of this kit is quite smart. It gives you the proper fitment out of the box, but it's always good to be careful about such things, because later you are placing a lot of items on top of this chassis. And as you can see, the suspension is surprisingly detailed for this kit. The same can be said about the powertrain. We get the engine, we get the drive box, we get also the full wheel drive system copied. more or less precisely for this scale. And here we continue with more parts being installed onto the main chassis, and only on this page we start working on the front cap. So as you can see, even the doors are getting various handles, so that's why you can open the door and it will not be empty inside. Then we continue with more parts for the suspension. Here we get the radiator, we also install the bonnet panels and the separate bonnet. And also the spare wheel goes in place, and then we start working on this rear, let's call it superstructure. And as you can see, there are some interior parts being installed, even though manufacturer suggests that the door is closed here, but as you remember, it's a separate part, so nobody stops you from opening it. And here we continue by installing it onto the chassis. Next we have the road wheels being assembled, and here you can see the headlamps, and also we have some assembly options. So you can see that it will depend on the windscreen choice. And here we continue with rear view mirrors, screen wipers for the variant 2. You can also open the windscreen. And here we have the first marking option, that's the truck with the wide front cap. And here's... no, that's all. That's interesting. So these were more of the assembly options, not the different marking guides. It's only one marking guide here, or marking option, and we have the separate page for the figurines. So whole kit should be already available in Modelimex together with other novelties from the same brand, and in my opinion it's quite nice choice of the combo set for a diorama build in case you're tired from all of these fighting scenes. And of course I'll be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.